A Thing of Beauty. This is a very, very, very famous poem, and this poem is also used as a phrase. मतलब हम जब इस पोएम के वर्ड्स को एज अ फ्रेज भी यूज करते हैं, लाइक अ थिंग ऑफ ब्यूटी इज अ जॉय फॉर एवर, वी ऑल्सो यूज इट इन दैट सेंस. एंड दिस पोएम इज रिटन बाय जॉन कीट्स. ही वॉज अ नेचर लविंग पोएट. मतलब कहा जाता है कि जो जॉन कीट्स थे, ही वॉज अ नेचर लविंग पोएट. उनको नेचर से बहुत प्यार था. एंड दिस इज एक्चुअली एक ग्रीक लेजेंड है. दिस ऑल कम्स इन द पेपर ऑल्सो. एंडीमिनियन, जब वो इट्स अ ब्यूटिफुल, ही वाज अ यंग ब्यूटिफुल शेपर्ड एंड पोएट हु लिव्ड इन माउंट एंड हैड अ विजन ऑफ सिंथिया, द मून गॉडेस. तो ये it was through that this poem was an inspiration to him. Now, when we talk about the poem, first of all, let me summarize the poem to you. As I said in the very beginning that the poem is bit difficult. Now, the poem is not bit difficult, but basically क्या है कि इस poem को हम literal meaning, इन्फरल मीनिंग यानी कि उसका जो एक इंटरनल मीनिंग दिया है वो दोनों को समझते हैं. When we say the literal meaning, it is a thing of beauty is a joy forever, means all the beautiful things always gives us a lifelong pleasure. But on the other hand, if we look into the literal meanings of this chapter, of this poem, you will find that this poem is about philosophy. It is about the impact of nature and literature. यानी जब हम नेचर को एक्सपीरियंस करते हैं और लिटरेचर को एक्सपीरियंस करते हैं, not read. When we experience the literature, that both have a never ending effect on us. So, on a broad category, we can say that the poet says that all the beautiful things would always have a never-ending effect on us. Not on us, on our soul. उसको उसने थोड़ा सा सिंप्लीफाई किया है. वो कहता है कि जो ब्यूटिफुल थिंग्स है, सुंदर चीजें. नाउ प्लीज डू नॉट थिंक ब्यूटिफुल थिंग्स विथ द ब्यूटी ऑफ अ वुमेन. Beautiful things here, as I said in the very beginning, John Keats is a nature loving poet. तो नेचर की जो खूबसूरतियां हैं, when we are experiencing them, they always give us an inspiration to move. हमने लास्ट पोएम में पढ़ा था, perhaps the earth can teach us. अगर आपको याद हो तो हमने पढ़ा था, perhaps the earth can teach us that मतलब कि the cycle of life goes on. वहां पर भी पैब्लो नेरूडा ने अर्थ को सिंबल लिया था. सिमिलरली यहां पर जॉन कीट्स कहते हैं कि जो नेचर है उसकी ब्यूटी हमें इंस्पायर करती है टू ऑलवेज मूव ऑन, इवन दो वी आर circumvented by many problems of life. हम अपने चारों तरफ से परेशानियों से घिरे हुए हैं. Sometimes it may be a personal loss. Sometimes it may be a violence. Sometimes it might be an inhuman event. कुछ भी हो सकता है. And all these troubles us. ये सब हमें परेशान करती हैं. But then every morning we have a hope. ऐसा तो नहीं है ना कि हम इन परेशानियों से भाग जाते हैं. No. Every morning we have a hope which binds us to this earth. जो हमें इस अर्थ से बाउंड करके रखता है, एक नया होप देता है. And for this, John Keats uses the symbols of sun, moon, trees. और trees को वो दो तरीके से बोलते हैं. One is the young trees and the old trees. The young trees give us fruits, and the old trees give us timber and shade. So everything which is present in the nature, whether it is the sun, the moon, the trees, the animals, the greenery, the small rivers, forest, anything which you experience would give you something. It would give you some inspiration. Nature हमेशा देता है. Then ये तो उन्होंने लिया about the symbols of nature, the sun, the moon, the trees, the sheep, the greenery, the forest, the rivers. ये तो हमारे नेचर है जो हमें इंस्पायर करता है. And whenever we are experiencing these inspiration, we all become inspired. The sun does not stop. उसको गुस्सा भी आएगा. Then also the nature's cycle goes on. रात खत्म होगी तो दिन आएगा. The cycle of season goes on. The trees, when they are young, they would be sprouting the fruits. But when they are old, they provide us the shade. Everything in the simplicity of nature is there. Even a small river, एक छोटा सा river, एक छोटा सा झरना, even छोटा सा झरना है, but अगर आप गर्मी में उसके पास जाओगे तो that would give you a cooling effect. When you enter into a forest, you would be experiencing the wild flowers. So everything which is there around us gives us something. Then यहाँ पर he gives a pause and वो कहते हैं कि नेचर के साथ लिटरेचर भी आपका जो है इंस्पिरेशनल है. In 2010 or 11, this question came for 2 marker, that how does Keats take the inspiration of nature as well as literature. So when you are reading about the people who have sacrificed their lives, कोई मूवी देखते हो, आज के डेट पर तो we are more onto the movies. When you are reading something about great personalities, कितना अच्छा लगता है, कितना इंस्पायर होते हैं हम लोग जब हम उनके बारे में पढ़ते हैं कि how they had sacrificed their lives for others. the soldiers, the martyrs, they also provide us an inspiration. When we read the literature about these great personalities, they inspire us. Yesterday I was watching a movie Major, and literally वो movie देखने के बाद my first question to my I was मैंने जैसे we were discussing, so I said that why Ajmal Kasab was fed with biryanis. He should have been shot dead. So brave soldiers had lost their lives. तो जब हम ऐसी चीजों को पढ़ते हैं, उनके बारे में कुछ सुनते हैं, तो that gives us an inspiration from inside. जब हम पढ़ते हैं कि जब हम छोटे थे तो we used to study, we used to read that great personalities used to sit under the lamp post. हमारी मम्मियाँ हमें बोलती थी पढ़ो सुनो, तुम लोगों को बत्तियां चाहिए होती है ना, देखो. But of course, very frankly, I have even read in the candlelight. When the exams were there, my mom would say बैठ जाओ candlelight में पढ़ो. But that वो जो इंस्पिरेशन होता था ना, वो एक अंदर से होता था, नॉट एन एक्सटर्नल. वो अंदर से होता था कि लैम्प पोस्ट में रहकर भी उन लोगों ने इतनी पढ़ाई की. So Keats advocates that both nature as well as literature are sources of inspiration. ये इस पोयम का थीम है. And the message this poem gives is, you are bound by many problems. You are circumvented with many problems. कभी कोई पर्सनल लॉस होगा, कभी कुछ होगा, but always move on. जो मैसेज वो देता है, that is nature and आपके जो great people हैं, they say move on. Despite the hurdles, the problems, the obstacles you face. So, this is the poem. Now I am starting this poem with your NCERT. Later on, I'll be discussing the poetic devices. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. Means all the beautiful things are having eternal effect. Eternal matlab never ending. Its loveliness increases. It will never pass into nothingness. Means the beauty of nature always increases with time. It never ends. It is never ending. It is never ending. इसमें एक लाइन का मीनिंग पेपर में आया हुआ है. एक वर्ड का में पेपर में आया हुआ है. But will keep a bower quiet for us. Bower मतलब shadow. Bower मतलब shadow. मतलब it gives us a shadow under which we get a good sleep. एक चैन की नींद आती है when we experience the beauty, and a sleep full of sweet dreams and health and quiet breathing. Means when you sleep under the shadow of beauty, you would experience peace. Therefore, यहाँ पर the meaning of therefore is that is why. यहाँ पर द मीनिंग ऑफ देयरफॉर इज दैट इज व्हाई एवरी मॉरो, मॉरो मतलब मॉर्निंग, मॉरो मतलब मॉर्निंग, टू मॉरो हम बोलते हैं ना, मॉरो मीन्स मॉर्निंग, एवरी मॉर्निंग आर वी रीडिंग अ फ्लावरी बैंड टू बाइंड अस टू द अर्थ। आर वी रीडिंग मतलब वी वीव, हम एक होप को वीव करते हैं। फ्लावरी बैंड मतलब गारलैंड, माला, फ्लावरी बैंड मतलब गारलैंड। यहाँ पर द गारलैंड इज नॉट द वन विच वी वियर, हेयर द गारलैंड इज ऑफ होप। इट इज द नेचर which binds us with the faith to this ground. Spite of, spite of मतलब despite of, in spite of. Despondence, despondence मतलब disappointments, despondence मतलब disappointments of the inhuman dearth of noble nature. Inhuman dearth of noble nature मतलब inhumanity, dearth मतलब lack of noble nature मतलब lack of humanity, lack of humanity, dearth मतलब lack होता है। of the gloomy days, of all the unhealthy and over darkened ways मतलब our personal loss, the inhumanity that is existing in the society, the war, unhealthy and over darkened ways मतलब violence, the sorrows made for our searching, जो इंसानों को घेर के रखती है, the one which circumvents human. Yes, in spite of all, some shape of beauty moves away the pall from our dark spirit. Some shape matlab the beauty does not have any shape. It moves away the pall from our dark spirit matlab the shadow from our spirits, the shadow of sorrow. It removes the shadow of sorrow from us when we experience the beauty. जब हम ब्यूटी को एक्सपीरियंस करते हैं, जब हम उसके बारे में सोचते हैं, तो वो हमारे दिल पर, हमारे सोल पर, हमारी आत्मा पर जो बोझ है उसको हल्का कर देता है। Such, अब वो he is giving the example. These are the examples, and if you see here in the question also it is given, list the things of beauty mentioned in the poem. This is the example he has given. Such, the sun, the moon, trees old and young. यहाँ पर if you see he has used the oxymoron old and young. तो old trees जो हैं they give us shadow, and the young trees जो हैं they give us fruits. नेचर हमेशा देता रहता, स्प्राउटिंग अ शेडी बून, जो ट्रीज है दे गिव अस अ शेडी बून, बून वैसे होता है इट इज मतलब हमें आशीर्वाद देता है, मीन्स दे गिव अस समथिंग। फॉर सिंपल शीप, दिस इज फॉर द नेचर सिंप्लिसिटी, simplicity, all the animals, and such are daffodils. Daffodils are the flowers, the flora, with the green world they live in. मतलब green world का मतलब जो pasture है, the greenery, जहाँ ये फूल जो है वो उगते हैं, the garden, and clear rills. Clear rills मतलब small rivers. स्मॉल रिवर्स, कुछ जगहों पे रिल्स का मीनिंग स्मॉल स्ट्रीम्स भी है, that for themselves a cooling covert make against the hot season. मतलब when you go near them, जब आप इनके पास जाते हो in the hot season, गर्मियों में, तो they give you a cooling covert. Covert मतलब a cooling effect. चाहे वो रिवर छोटा है, छोटा सा स्ट्रीम है, yet it will give you a cooling effect when you go in the hot season. And the mid forest break rich with a sprinkling of fair musk rose blooms. And when you enter into the forest, into the thick forest, वहां पर भी you will be experiencing the sprinkling of fair musk rose blooms. Musk rose blooms means wild flowers. Fair musk rose blooms मतलब wild flowers. The fragrance of the wild flowers enthrall us when we enter into a forest. जब हम लोग जंगल में जाते हैं तो जो वहां पर वाइल्ड फ्लावर्स होते हैं वो भी हमें अपनी तरफ खींचते हैं. Means everything which is present in the nature, the sun, the moon, the old trees, the young trees, the simple sheep, the daffodils, the clear rills, the forest, everything gives us something. यहाँ तक तो it is about the nature. Till here it is about nature. And such too is the grandeur of the dooms. अगर आप इस चैप्टर को इसमें देखोगे तो ये वाला जो क्वेश्चन है, why is grandeur associated with mighty dead, ये क्वेश्चन आपके 100 टाइम्स आया होगा पेपर में, 100 टाइम्स. And such too is the grandeur of the dooms we have imagined for the mighty dead. Now what is the meaning of grandeur? Grandeur मतलब magnificent. ग्रैंडर होता है, ग्रैंडियर नहीं होता. ग्रैंडर मतलब मैग्निफिसेंट, ब्यूटिफुल. और यहां पर ही सेज द डूम्स. डूम्स मतलब ग्रेवयार्ड. डूम्स मतलब ग्रेवयार्ड. एंड यू कैन सी, कभी मतलब कि ग्रेवयार्ड मैग्निफिसेंट हो सकता है ताजमहल को छोड़कर. We have imagined for the mighty dead. Now what is the meaning of mighty dead? Mighty dead is an oxymoron. It is an antithesis. Mighty का मतलब होता है बहुत ज्यादा strong, courageous. And dead मतलब मरा हुआ आदमी. तो मरा हुआ आदमी strong कैसे हो सकता है? तो यहां पर द माइटी डेड मतलब those people who had laid their lives for others, those people who had sacrificed their lives for others. All lovely tales we have heard or read, जब हम उनके बारे में पढ़ते हैं, जब हम उनके बारे में सुनते हैं, so what does it give us? What do they give us? An endless fountain of immortal drink. मतलब they give us a never ending effect. Immortal मतलब जिसे पीने के बाद इंसान अमर हो जाता है. They are endless. Endless मतलब never ending. They are never ending. They have a never ending effect. Just like an immortal drink. Immortal drink means अमृत, जिसको पीकर इंसान अमर हो जाता है. A person becomes eternal. Pouring unto us from the heavens brink. ऐसा लगता है that the God is showering his blessings. जब हम इन टेल्स को पढ़ते हैं तो ऐसा लगता है as if the God is showering his blessings from the heavens edge. Brink मतलब edge, which gives us which makes us immortal. जैसे भगवान अगर ऊपर से अमृत की वर्षा करेगा तो इंसान जो है वो अमर हो जाएगा, यानी never he will die. Similarly, when we read the tales of these people, they give us a never ending effect. This is the poem A Thing of Beauty. I re-revise. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. Means when we experience the beautiful things, it gives us a never-ending effect. Its loveliness increases, it will never pass into nothingness. It would never end. Every time when you experience, it would give you a new effect. But will keep a bower quiet for us and a sleep full of sweet dreams and health and quiet breathing. Means it is just like a bower. Bower matlab shadow of a tree, shade of a tree, under which we have a sound sleep, a peaceful sleep. Therefore, on every morrow are we reading a flowery band to bind us to this earth. And that is why this inspiration gives us a hope which binds us to this earth. Spite of despondence, of the inhuman dearth of noble natures, of the gloomy days, of all unhealthy and over-darkened ways, made for our searching, yes, in spite of all. In spite that we are surrounded by lots of problems, violence, battle, personal sorrow, yet there is something which binds us, and that is, according to Keats, the nature, which removes the shadow from our spirits. He gives the example such the sun, the moon, trees old and young, sprouting a shady boon. For simple sheep such are daffodils, means the simplicity of nature, the animals, the flowers where they are born, the clear rills, the small streams. Even when you go to the small streams, they would give you a cooling effect in the hot season. The mid-forest brake rich with a sprinkling of fair musk rose blooms. When you enter into a forest, the wild flowers, they capture us. And such too is the grandeur of the dooms. Matlab, besides nature, even literature जो है, that provides us a never-ending effect. Even literature provides us never-ending effect. And such too is the grandeur of the dooms we have imagined for the mighty dead. When those people who have laid their lives, when we read about them, when we hear about them, they also act as an eternal, immortal drink. They also have a never-ending effect, as if God is bestowing His blessings from the heavens edge. जैसे भगवान जो है अमृत धारा वर्षा कर रहा है फ्रॉम द हेवन, उस तरीके से इट मेक्स अस नेवर एंडिंग एक्सपीरियंस. So that is the poem, A Thing of Beauty. Now let us take the poetic devices. Noble nature, the word, the letter N is repeated with the same sound. So that is why it is alliteration. Cooling covered, again alliteration. Simple sheet doesn't go for the same sound, इसीलिए वो alliteration नहीं है. सिंपल में स आता है एंड शीप के अंदर आपका जो है इट इज श आता है. सो इट इज नॉट गिविंग द सेम कॉन्सोनेंट साउंड. सो डू नॉट गो फॉर एलिट्रेशन. एस को मत देखिएगा प्लीज. ओल्ड एंड यंग यानी कि आपका दो ऑपोजिट चीजें, दो ऑपोजिट चीजें. दैट इज व्हाई इट इज ऑक्सीमोरन. Its loveliness, increases. Loveliness में आए. It will में again आए. Then आपका but will में again आए. Bore quite for us में आए. So that is why this is आपका what we call as assonance. And Bower quite is also metaphor. It has been used for shadow. Then cooling covered. Cooling covered जो है it is giving the same ka. That is why it is alliteration. Mighty dead is one which always comes many times. आपके पेपर में ये वाला जो है ना इट ऑलवेज कम्स मेनी टाइम्स. माइटी डेट क्या है? तो सम ऑफ द टीचर्स गो विथ ऑक्सीमोरन, सम ऑफ द टीचर्स गो विथ एंटीथेसिस, एंड बोथ ऑफ देम आर राइट. दोनों का मीनिंग सेम है. दोनों का मीनिंग सेम है, दैट इज आपका ऑपोजिट वर्ड्स टुगेदर. With the green world, mid forest break, these are all imagery. मतलब उसने इमेज क्रिएट किया है, दैट हाउ इट लुक्स. मतलब जब हम इनके बारे में सुनते हैं तो व्हाट हैपन्स, हम एक इमेज क्रिएट करते हैं. जब हम फॉरेस्ट के अंदर जाते हैं तो ऐसा होता है, फॉरेस्ट ऐसा लगता होगा, तो इट क्रिएट्स एन इमेज. सो दैट इज व्हाई इफ दिस कम्स मिड फॉरेस्ट ब्रेक, तो इट विल बी इमेजरी. So there are number of alliteration, imagery, then आपका what we call as oxymoron or antithesis. कुछ जगहों पर if you will see it is written antithesis, in some area it is written oxymoron. When we are placing two opposite things together, it comes as oxymoron or antithesis. This is what we call as the poetic devices that is being used. As I said, this is the theme of the poem, that both nature as well as literature are sources of inspiration. They always give you one inspiration, and that is move on. And the message is, whatever obstacle comes on, move on. Do not fear. हमेशा आगे बढ़ते रहो. The sun doesn't stop because it is cloudy. The cycle of day and night doesn't stop because it is windy. Similarly, when you go near a very big river or a small river, both of them will always give you something which is cooling effect. ठंडा पानी, ठंडा मतलब कि ठंडक. When you enter into a forest, it would always mesmerize you with the wild flowers. ये जो यहाँ पर लिखा हुआ है बेटा, फेयर मस्क रोज ब्लूम्स, ब्लूम्स मतलब फ्लावर. वैसे मस्क जो होता है दैट इज डिफरेंट, लेकिन मस्क रोज ब्लूम्स आर वाइल्ड फ्लावर्स.
मैम मस्त वो होता है ना जो डियर की गर्दन में होता है,
हम हिंदी में कहते हैं कस्तूरी, विच इज फाउंड इन द डियर, जो कि मृग में पाया जाता
मेल
है.
डियर.
एंड रोज इज आपका गुलाब. बट यहाँ पर मस्क रोज ब्लूम्स आर टुगेदर एंड दे मीन वाइल्ड फ्लावर्स. Grandeur of the dooms, it is imagery also, and it is also meaning magnificent, something very big, very beautiful. अब डूम्स को हम ब्यूटीफुल क्यों बोल रहे हैं, किसी की ग्रेवयार्ड को हम ब्यूटीफुल क्यों बोल रहे हैं, बिकॉज those graveyard are belonging to those people who have laid their life for others. ये पेपर में क्वेश्चन आता है. When we are reading about them, when we are hearing about them, they give us an infinite inspiration to move on. यहाँ पर if you see in one go, in some areas you will be asked, how do the bounties of nature provide never ending happiness. तो बाउंटीज का मतलब होता है ब्यूटी, बाउंटीज का मतलब होता है ब्यूटी. नेचर में जो ब्यूटीफुल चीजें हैं वो हमें कैसे इंस्पायर करती हैं. दिस list the things mentioned as beautiful. Everything which is mentioned List the thing that cause suffering. I have already told, the sorrow, violence, inhumanity. Then what does this line mean? Some hope that binds us to this earth. What makes human being love in life in spite of troubles? The beautiful things around us, the bounties around us. Why is grandeur associated with the mighty dead? Because they are related to those people who have laid their lives for others. Do we experience things of beauty only for a short, or they make us a lasting? They make us a lasting impression, because it is already written, it never passes into nothingness. And what image he has created about all the things that are around us in the nature. Then the rhyming scheme, you can see अलग अलग है, यहाँ पर आप देख सकते हो. Forever, never, keep, sleep. यानी कि the rhyming scheme here is A, A, B, B. Similarly, breathing, writhing, earth, dearth. A, A, B, B. Days, ways, all, Paul. Again A, A, B, B. यानी कि the rhyme scheme is A, A, B, B. It is written in quadruplet. क्वाड्राप्लेट का मतलब होता है चार चार लाइनें, और जब हम दो लाइनों में लिखते हैं तो वो हमारा जो है दोहा हम बोलते हैं. तो दिस इज रिटन इन क्वाड्राप्लेट, एंड दैट इज व्हाई ए ए बी बी अगर आप देखो तो. वी ऑल्सो हैव enjambment in many sentences. enjambment का मतलब होता है जब एक लाइन बिना किसी कॉमा, बिना किसी फुल स्टॉप, it moves to the next line. Daffodils, rills, make, break. A, A, B, B. Booms, dooms, dead, red. तो ये इस तरीके से it is written in A, A, B, B. So this is what we call as the thing of beauty, a very important poem from the point of view of boards also. And also when you are going to give any kind of entrance, then also these questions will be there. This is one of the important poems of our English literature. It is based on the theme that literature and nature's bounties, the beauty of nature always inspires us to move. हमें आगे बढ़ने की प्रेरणा देता है. And the message is learn from the nature. Learn from those people who have been martyred to move on, face the obstacles of life. They always inspire you. चाहे छोटा सा बुश हो, ट्री हो, यंग ट्री हो, बूढ़ा ट्री हो, छोटा रिवर हो, फॉरेस्ट हो, everything are the sources of inspiration.